Well, you join me back in the in Cumbria, and we're fishing here again. I've scaled it down this time. I've got some better bread. I've scaled it down to just one rod fishing, which is the sandstorm, fishing for a bass. I've got smaller hooks on this time, so hopefully, I think they're size 4 hooks I've got on there, and just so I can hopefully catch something, because as you know, it's been 2 blanks up to now. I couldn't care less, really, to be fair. I said it again. But yeah, we're here fishing again. So we've got 1 rod for bass and mullet, and well, 1 rod for bass and 1 rod for mullet. I've got me bread, which is all here, which as soon as the water comes in, I shall put some water in and get baited up. So wish me luck, and with that, I have a quick scan around. You might hear a... I'll just give you a quick scan around. So let's cut for the intro. Right, I set this GoPro up manually because that's all I can do. It says you can use the app, but you can't. And I hadn't had no problems with it for a long while. And I've just gone to did a bit of filming, the intro, and then I've switched it on again. I've had to set the time again, which the time is all there, so I just press OK, but it just does your head in, doesn't it? It does my head in. That's my opinion, because it's in my head, isn't it? And I get pissed off with it, to say the least. And I'm going to leave it there before I start going on one. But the bloody GoPro does my head in. Really does my head in. So yeah, you might see over my shoulder that the flags are up. And I'm in a shooting range. Now, I've spoken to the marshal who's come past, and he said I'm okay, and he rung back to his headquarters, and they said, yeah, I'll be fine as long as I don't get no further that way. I mustn't go, because it can land in all those dunes that are over there. So whenever you're fishing around and you see red flags and yellow flags up, do not go anywhere near it. Always go to the end and go past it. And you just heard it. That's the 3rd gun that's gone off, shooting out to sea. I did ask, are they new lads shooting or are they professionals? And he said they're professionals, because if they were new lads, then I might need a hard hat, mightn't I? But they are live shells as well, or they will be firing loud shells. He said then you'll hear it go bang, and then you'll hear another bang. So perhaps they're honing the skills with some cheap dummy ones, and then they're going to use the real shells. But they are going to use real shells today. Whether we get that on camera, I don't know, but you've just had the first one. I keep hearing a siren, and then you hear the bang. Right, so we're back here again. I have fished here. I fished Sailcroft. And I was going to fish Walney Island today, but Walney Island, I found a new place on Walney Island, which yesterday there was nobody there. Now it'll be sod's law that when I go back, that it'll be absolutely rammed with bloody holiday makers or whatever, but hopefully it won't, because it is out of the way. And tomorrow the tides are 0.5 of a metre swell instead of a metre, which is today, and the wind is less. You might hear the wind here today. It is blowing west. I got all excited with the wind blowing west. I was thinking, great, it's over my back. And then I realised I was on this side of the coast, so it's in your face. So today I'm fishing here because I can. I won't go into Whitehaven. I might do Whitehaven Friday when we're out of a digs. But it was either fish here. I didn't want to go back to Sailcroft because I just don't think you'll catch anything. I think tomorrow's going to be the best day, and I'm trying somewhere different. I have fished Walney Island before, about 3 videos in from my first ever food videos, so I'm going to fish it again. Looking forward to it actually, especially in this new place, so hopefully things will work out alright. What else is there to say? Yeah, if I blank, I blank, don't I? If you don't like watching videos with no fish in it, then the last 2 wouldn't have been very exciting, but let's hope this one will be a bit better. It might be, it might not. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? But I am trying my best. You can only try your best, and you can only catch what's in front of you. But I've been here and I've seen mullet here. So the one thing I have learnt with mullet fishing, and I've only ever done it once for about an hour and a half until I packed in and give up, is the fact of, to catch a mullet, I think it's best to actually see them in the water. If you can see them, you can ground bait it up with bread, pull them into you where you're fishing, and then hopefully you've got a chance of catching one. I think what I'm doing here is wrong. As a matter of fact, it's harder, because the mullet might be right over the other side of the estuary, right over there on that river. This is a river, it's a tidal river to here. The estuary's just round the corner, but when I first come here, until I looked at it on Google Maps, I thought it was an estuary. But it's close enough for a Norfolk lad to be an estuary, I'll tell you. So I have seen mullet here, but it was last year. It was a hot day. But if I don't, the only other place I can know off is probably Whitehaven, Maryport, any places like that. Could have probably gone to Barrow Docks, but when I was looking at Morrison's there, I don't know if you can fish out of Morrison's car park. There's a long drop down and I ain't got a drop net, and that all seems too much hassle. So these are the first few videos I've ever done trying to catch mullet. I don't expect to catch mullet, but I'm giving it a go, and that's all you can do. And you never know, this ground bait might actually bring them in. I was going to bring some oil to put in with my bread, but I forgot. So the tide's coming in fairly quickly, so hopefully very shortly I shall be fishing. I might try and walk down on the mud because it looks stony, and get my ground bait mixed up, the bread. I'm only fishing one other rod today. I'm not fishing 3 rods. It's too much to do, especially when you're doing a different discipline of fishing. I'm ledgering for mullet. I've watched plenty of videos, people catch them like that. I've got the rigs. I bought some rigs and made some rigs, like I said in the previous video. And we'll just see what happened today. Hopefully I'll catch. I've got small hooks on the sandstorm and black lug and squid, because that's the only bait I've got. I've got no fresh worms. For me to get fresh worms, I've got to go to Whitehaven or Morecambe Bay, and it seems a little bit too far for me. So we'll see what happens, and I'll bring you along for when I cast out. Let's hope I don't get hit by a shelley, because it could be the end of Verns sea fishing. And before you all say it, thank God for that, there'll be some out there that will miss me. Nearly did it again. I'll tell you in a minute. Right, the other day at Sailcroft, I'm sure I filmed it. Because it's like the most monumental blow up I've ever had on a reel. And what happened is I fished here with both reels, as you saw in the previous videos, and then I went to Sailcroft, and my first cast out, the leader knot literally snapped at the knot. So I had the orange knot of the leader there and my yellow lot of the main line there, and there's a little bit of line sticking out, and it had snapped off literally at the knot. So obviously I saw the weight go out and everything, and I thought, oh, this is going all right, and then I heard it all fluff up and my reel was buggered. I had to cut it all out very carefully at the digs, and then well, digs, it's a cottage, and I re-spilled my reel up. Well, when I was pulling the line off, I knocked the magnets off. So I casted that out then, and it was going out all right and was coming down, slowing down. So the momentum of the weight was slowing down, and then I started hearing the reel spin up. So I put my thumb on it and the weight dropped in the water, and yeah, I had another bird's nest, which I've just pulled out, so everything's all right and we're back to normal. That's the reel that I've just spilled up with new line as well. I didn't put the magnets back on, did I? So first cast out, but I did remember, because last time I was here, my first cast out, I had the clicker on, didn't I? Because the water was coming in, there was nothing, I was rushing, and we made that palaver. Another disaster has been avoided. I've got a spare reel in my box because I've got 2 fathoms, haven't I? But I don't want to have that problem, and I've had it, but I've gotten away with it. So I pulled it all out. We're back in there, we're fishing. We've got a 2-hook flapper out there with size 4 hooks, black lug tipped off with squid. So I want a flounder. Be good to catch a bass. The water's now coming in. I did try to walk out on the mud, but it was a bit too sinky, a bit too far out. So the water will be in very shortly. I shall top my bucket up with some water, make my ground bait up and get it chucked in. I'm going to make it right thick and pasty, so when it drops in it stays there and the particles start going out for the scent, for the mullet or whatever they do. But I've seen mullet on this bank here last year, fingers crossed, but it don't mean they're going to be here today, do it? And like I say, they could be down near the estuary, mouth of the estuary of where the river is. They might not even be up this neck of the woods, we don't know, do we? But this is the place where I can get to with my hip. I've gone and put a load more goop on my hip because it was hurting, and back at the van, which is just over there. So this is where I'm fishing. We'll see what happens. I can only give it a go, and fishing with that smaller rod and the weight and the mullet rig with bread, it's all a new learning curve. And then when I get to a harbour where there is mullet and I see there's mullet there, then I'll give it another go. In the harbour I'll probably just fish it on the surface, because I know they feed from the surface, and then that'll save me having to bring a load of bait. If I've got to carry a rod and a rucksack and my bucket, then it's not so bad, is it? Anyhow, first rod is out. I do like these sandstorms, but they are softer and they would be far better with an off the ground cast. The whole rod would load up massively and then it'd send a bait out, which it was doing on Sailcroft Beach, but I had a headwind, and if I was fishing the beach today I'd have a headwind, and I'm going to have a headwind tomorrow, but it's probably about 15 to 17 mile an hour winds tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to fishing Walney Island. I drove further down to where I normally park up and have fished it in the past, and every year I come here I go to Walney Island. We eat our McDonald's or KFC, and we park up, and I go have a look on the beach every year and think I need to fish this again, because there's unfinished business there as well. Hopefully we'll get a fish today. Look, I'd really like to bring a fish to the video, but we're in the lap of the gods, aren't we? Right, I can get down there where the grass is to get some water in my bucket and get my ground bait mixed up, so I'll see you in a bit. Right, so here's my bait. I've got bread balls like this. I'm just going to chuck these straight in the water from where I'm fishing. Yeah, that's floating, that is. Perhaps I need to squish it more to get the air out. I better chuck it upstream. So I'm squishing it now to get the air out. Make sure I get all the air out. Chuck some in the seaweed. Well, you can see all that bread there. It's in at the shore. It's in probably 2 meters out, and I've chucked it out further where that bit of weed is, right out there, probably 3 meters. It's drifting down there, so there's not much more I can do. I've got another bread loaf in the van, and I've got another 1.5 loaves here, so I can bait up again later on in the tide, but I just figured let's give it a good go, a real good go. So that's what I'm doing. Now we take a bit of this bread, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't claim to. Take a piece like that. Way too big, I know, but I had trouble last time putting it on the hook, so we've got a size 8 carp hook. Put it in there like that, fold it round, nip that. Now that's gone up pasty like dough, like what I remember when you used to leave that bit frilly, nip that round the hook. When I used to fish for dace, freshwater fishing for dace, used to manipulate the bread and it would go all sticky and gooey. And that's what I've done there. So it's all just got tangled up there. Use this tackle up and get rid. Can't get any water yet. Now this is just going to be like a freshwater cast, this. There you go. And I can see that bread has popped up. I've got a pop-up on it because some of the rigs that I purchased have got pop-ups on. And it's all new to me. But there, it don't matter if I don't catch. I'm here doing it and getting the feel for it. And what I might do, if I don't fish for it again, if I don't fish for it again this week, then at least I've had a go, and then I can look around to where there may be some mullet in a harbour or something and give it another go. It's not messy. I've used my hands. I've got a wooden spoon for most of the mix, and I was going to chuck the bread out with that, but oh, there it go again. You can hear it going through the sky, like a Thunderbird's aeroplane. Do you know what I mean? Thunderbird 1. But yeah, I used my hand, and yes, I've got bread all around, but just by rubbing your hands like this, it all comes off, so it's not as messy. I've got it around my fingers. When I get some water, I'll rinse my hands. Right, so in all the time I've been doing that, I haven't been watching my sandstorm rod. But if anything, if it's like, what was it? What's today? Tuesday. I fished Saturday, didn't I? No, I fished Friday. Friday I fished. If it's anything like Friday, bait's going to come back all the time gone. I'm hoping that it doesn't. Ooh. Now you heard that second explosion. That was a shell that had some go in it. He said to me, you'll hear it get fired and then you'll hear a secondary explosion. And that's what that was. That's a proper shell. It's ever so nice of the chap to... I was then going to ring the phone number, and he said... because he drove past, and I thought, And he come back, and I started talking to him and said, I can fish over to the right. I ain't fussed, but I'd like to fish here because I ain't got time to go anywhere else. And he said, no, I'll ring up. I said, I was going to ring the number that's on the board. He said, well, if you'd have rung that, you'd have got me. So I was talking to him. He's ever a nice chap, and he radioed control and said to him that I'll be 10 meters from this gully here fishing, and they said, no, you're fine. Now another day they might say no, and I said to the chap, I said, if you tell me to bugger off, I'll fish over there. It's not a problem, but I'd just like to fish here if that's okay. And he said, you can fish there, but all this bit of land, he said, if you go any further that way, then we'll come back, because there's cameras along there and they're bloody miles away, but they can see you. They can see you here. So yeah, it was nice of him. So here I am fishing, and I can concentrate more on the mullet rod and just keep my eye on the other sandstorm rod, which I'm bait fishing with worm and squid. And I don't know how long the bread stays on the hook, you see, so we'll have to just wait and see, won't we? I don't know, it's all new to me. And although some people might say, but in my opinion, I don't know everything, and I never claim to know everything. I just like to have a go. But I do watch and read up and go on the internet as much information as I can for where I'm going. But I know for a fact that if I was fishing in a harbour like Whitehaven, Maryport, or somewhere else, Barra, possibly Barra, I don't know, there'd be a lot more chance of catching mullet. There's the estuary as it goes in between Walney Island and the mainland. There's a little slip road there that I can park the car, walk down the slip road and fish, but there's loads of ropes from the yachts that are tied up, and I went there yesterday and I couldn't see any mullet fishing there either. And going harbour and back to that first initial point, I think the best chance you've got of catching a mullet is to see them in the water for starters, and then I think you have to bite your top lip, pray to God, pray to yourself, tie knots in everything, and then you might have a chance of catching one. You might, but it's all part of the fun, isn't it, of doing it and learning something different. So that's what I'm doing. We've got the as you can see there, we've got the auger rod again. I showed you it the other day, teamed up with the Icon 40 spin, sorry, Icon 40 spin, and me auger Raider rod, and I really do like that rod. It's really good. So hopefully we'll hear another shell go off, and hopefully it'll explode. Hopefully it'll be a proper one like that one. But it's all exciting, isn't it? I'm gonna have to put my green hat on in a minute for camouflage, and hopefully I won't get hit. I did say to the wife, if I get hit by a shell and I blow up, can she please, when it's safe and they lower the flags, can she come over here, get the camera and just film me dead on the floor? Because you need to know what happened. To leave you hanging and never see me again, well, you would see me again. No, you wouldn't see me again, because this would be the last video. Yeah, I said to her to film me, even if there's bits all over, just film me so you know what happens. I don't think the wife would be bothered, not even seeing bits of me. I don't think. I think she'd be quite happy, because she'd have control of the remote control then, wouldn't she? It'd be on the arm of her chair. Doesn't forecast rain today. It is Tuesday the 22nd of August at 2:30. It doesn't forecast rain today, although the clouds are all up there again, but Black Coombe is holding it all back, and it's going across that ridge of fells there over to there, so hopefully it's going to miss me again. But you know what Hope, well, I don't know what Hope did. It'll probably just chuck it down on me and make me wet, and that ain't the sort of wet you want to be. Listen for it, listen for it. You can watch me rods, listen. Oh, you can hear that. Listen for the next explosion. There it go. Did you hear that? I probably went, here you go at the same time, but I think you recorded it just beforehand. That must be travelling miles. If anybody knows how far these shots go, but first couple of shots didn't sound as big as and impressive as that. But you hear a little sounder go off first, and then about 30 seconds, 40 seconds later, it goes off, and you heard that great big bang. And then you heard it travelling through the air. I mean, this is all new to me. You ex-soldiers out there and whatever, soldiers that are there, this is nothing, is it? But it's like, I mean, it's like brilliant. You normally find the remnants of a shoot on the Holderness coast, because I've got a fin in my back garden. But yeah, you hear that go bang, which is coming out of the gun, cannon, whatever you want to call it, and then you can hear it zooming through the air just like a Thunderbird 1. And then ages and ages you then hear that explosion. I mean, how many, what I'm saying is, if anybody knows how far these sort of guns shoot, let me know, because that was, I suppose you could count and then work it out, I don't know. But it's pretty impressive in my opinion. Always wanted to join the army, but my old man wouldn't let me. So I tried to get in the RAF, and I passed to get in the RAF, and I could have been a driver or anything like that, but I wanted to be an air technician on the airframe, and I didn't get a high enough score for that, or they didn't need any of them and they just wanted MT drivers. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have been an MT driver, because I could have been driving lorries now, earning more money than what they did back then, because I think they get paid a lot more money now, like everybody, than what they did back then. So perhaps I made another wrong decision in life there. I'm gonna keep watching this rod. I ain't gonna get so excited. I'm like a school kid. Right, let's get this rod reeled in. We're gonna reel this in, check the bait, and then give it a better cast this time. There goes another bomb. Not going right here, is it? Do you know, there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there. That was the explosion. Fucking arseholes. I hope that's the leader. Well, I ain't lost any main line, so that's the main thing. What a fucking... God, now I could fucking lose it now, but I'm not gonna. Sorry about the language. Right, let's get another leader tied on. And the only thing about this is the fishing time you lose, because I've then got to talk to the camera renter. I'll tell you what, let's just put another reel on, and then what I'll do is I'll sort the other rod out in a minute. The other reel, sorry. So there's a snag out there. I was casting out there all last session I was here. The last session I was here, I was casting out there. Nothing was a problem. But never mind. Remembering I've got me spare reel, and what I'll do is I'll tie another leader onto that. I'll tie another leader onto that. I'm going to cast straight over. No, not casting up there. I'm wondering whether the weight went in, because it was only shallow, you see, and I'm thinking that the weight shot into the water, and there might have only been 10 inch of water there, and the weight would have gone straight into the mud, and there's no way you're pulling that out. I'll get this rigged up and I'll bring you back in a minute. Ooh, I can hear it going through the sky, but I can't see it. Must be going fast. That cast went all right. Just didn't cast up river enough. There's the explosion. So I need to cast further up, because the wind took that. As soon as it lost momentum, the wind took it back. Now the water's taking it, but well, it's exciting air into all these bangs. Better reel this other rod in now, haven't we? I've got some bread, put it in my pocket. Right. There you go. Well, I better change the battery because the battery's going on the GoPro. Here comes the chuff chuff train. Is he gonna wave? No one waving on there, but I didn't wave at them. But you'd think they'd wave at you, wouldn't you? I want to be further up the river. I'm now scared of casting up river now in case I land on that bloody line that I've just snapped off. There, we're fishing, aren't we? So it's another good day, and I'm building some videos up in the bank. Now the only other thing, just what I'll quickly touch on, is when you're doing YouTube and you're getting videos in the bank, yeah, you haven't got much choice. So in a week away, if you can actually bang in some videos because of the weather and everything's all right and the missus don't mind, which she don't, then you ain't got much choice on what's about. If that's a week when there's not much fish about, because there's not much fish about, let's just say, as you know, you ain't gonna catch a lot, are you? You can do everything that you can to the best of your ability to increase your chances, but if they aren't there, you can only catch what's in front. So you can end up with 4 or 5 videos where you're blank blank blank, but it's over a period of 4 or 5 days, which is what this is going to be. And I'm hoping that I don't blank today. I ain't fussed if I do, couldn't care less. You know, you either watch a video or you don't. Plenty of people like hearing me rattle on. Some people like watching me catch fish. I don't know what the rest like watching. Perhaps it's me chiseled good looks, perhaps. I don't know. See? There's a poster for your wartime. Oh, I don't know. Feels like wartime here. I've got bloody shells going over my head. I'm ducking down. Unbelievable. Big seagull. That's a gannet. They don't mess around, do they, gannets? Don't go in my line. Where we go again. Ready, steady. Wind's died down. Any minute now. Are you ready? Count the seconds. Don't speed this bit up, Tom. Takes a while. Takes a while. Did you hear that? Don't speed that up, Tom. Leave that as it was. Because people will just see me looks, won't they? Do you know what I mean? And then they can count the seconds, and then someone can tell me how far that shell's going. I'd like to think that there's no boats out there, and that the boats know not to go there, because could you imagine someone fishing for bloody hounds or tope out there, and suddenly there's this water all over them. It's all good, it passes the time, it's content, isn't it? And it's good, exciting fun, isn't it? I couldn't have picked a better day, really. And now we have this water's coming in now, look. Just checking this line. I think this line of mine is in the weed. Yeah, just slightly. I just need to tighten up on that. But yeah, water's come into the grass. Or this samphire. I don't think it is samphire, what you get in Norfolk, but it's something similar. And I may mix up some more bread very shortly and do another brew. I've got another loaf in the van. I need to have maximum effort of trying to attract something in. Like you say, I don't think I'm going to catch a mullet today. If I was here last year with my rod and some bread or maggots, I think I would have pulled a mullet out easy as anything, just fishing on the surface. So, but there, we've got to give it an effort, give it a go, and I'm enjoying myself, and that's the main thing about it. So come along with this video if you've liked it so far. I doubt if you, those that don't like it, they would have signed off by now, but if you haven't, click the old subscribe button, it's all free. Drop us a thumbs up and give us a comment. If you don't like that and don't want to do that, if you're still watching and you ain't already signed off thinking what a rattling old twat he is, thank you for the view. So here we have it, absolutely cracking. And I shall be back here next year, but next year I shall probably be hunting, checking for the mullet first. See you in a bit. Can't get enough of that, can you? Oh, what's the title gonna be? You're gonna have to pick a good title, innit? Oh, what can the title be? Well, you'll know when I look at that. No, man, it's all right. Right, let's get this rubbed up. Well, it's a little bit windy. It's not too bad. It's not as bad as when I first got here. So there we go. Boom. Must be a huge lump of water going up in the air out there for that to blow up. I ain't in no danger here. It's just the first thing he said is it's all down to risk assessments. And he says we ain't done a risk assessment for this bit or something or other. They've done risk assessments. That's why they got maps with red lines around it saying you can't go there. I think you got to really grind. Now, the other bread that I had, which weren't very good, was very dry. We couldn't nip it onto the hook and all like that. And I would say, well, it was crap, but it was good for ground bait. This stuff is probably a little bit too. Just do one at a time. I'll see you in a bit. Well, let's hope. You might hear an explosion in a minute. This bread ain't sinking. Why ain't that sinking? Someone tell me why this bread ain't sinking. This is brand new bread, it's probably top quality bread, but it's just not sinking. This is what's hard about mullet fishing. It's just not sinking. Is it because there's not enough water in it? Thought I got all the air out. It's fallen down. Yeah, not enough water in it, but now it's all sludgy. Get seagulls in a minute, I reckon. What's from the bucket out? You'll be saying, oh, he's frightening the fish off. Well, it's all a learning curve, isn't it? It's all a learning curve. And who cares? Right. Well, that's the last of my ground bait. I've got another loaf to use, but I'm going to use that for bread on the camera. I'm going to use that for bait, and also if I've got any bread left I shall take it home. Now I've got a loaf of bread at home, but I'm very frugal. Let's get a bucket of water, shall we? That's where it is. That's it. That's me. Look. Well, that's baited up now. That's more baiting up than I did last time I was there. Far more. I suppose what I need to do now is check that Daiwa sandstormer, and hopefully it'll reel in. What a sandwich here. Went back to the van to get a bread loaf, and the wife's given me another sandwich, so let's well, at least it's my second time I give up after so long, because the bread just wouldn't stay on the hook. Just wouldn't stay on the hook. So I just put some squid in that on it. Come another train. Or is it an aeroplane? No, it's an aeroplane again. It must have a flight plan or something where it comes across. Right, let's reel this one in. There it go again. Don't know if you can hear this sounder. Exactly where I wanted it, but it'll do. I also forgot my bank stick for that rod, so I've had to use my rod ties, and I also forgot the landing net pole that I bought that cost me £3. So what I've done is I've got together this fishing rod, my bass rod, and I've gaffer taped the bloody net onto it, because that's all I got. Fancy getting all the gear and then having no idea. What a kerfuffle that is. Hope this water don't come in much further. I need to check the time. Time and tide waits for no man. Recording? Yeah. Well, just check I'm in frame. Better. It was with it before, wasn't it? Right. A bit further upstream, but not where I got snagged off. Right, well, that's that done again. That's good, isn't it? Oh, now I can have a sit down and I might sort this reel out now. Put a new shock leader on, hopefully. If I can't, all depends if I can tie the nut up. So I'll bring you back in a bit. See in a bit. Right, I'm just putting you on the rods because it's going to go bang again in a minute. Unbelievable. It's all new to me. You'll hear it explode in a minute. I'll keep quiet. Listen. Don't cut it, Tom. Make sure you listen. There you go. That was it. That was the explosion. If you can hear it. I bet you're fed up with me going on about it now. Probably millions of people have heard it before. Well, that's... Ooh! Matron! Bloody hell. I'll tie far better knots in my garage, I'll tell you that. Oh, the water's coming in since I've been tying this leader on. The water has come in. It's at the bottom of my tripod. I'm gonna have to move back a bit. Here come a bloody train. Oh, it's all happening now, isn't it? Bombs. It just blew up. That shell just hit, landed. So that's that reel, now functional again. If anything goes wrong, I can just put that on. Put it in there, put that there. Let's put it in the bag. I've got to move all my stuff back because the water is coming in. I've got water around my rod. I don't think I'm going to have to move back far. We'll be able to see, interesting to see also when the tide goes out, see if my bread is still on the bottom from the first ground baiting. But yeah, I'm gonna have to just jiffle back. I'll put everything up top there, so hopefully I ain't gonna have to be up there for long. I can come back down. It's all slippery up there. I better move my rods back, ain't I? Bloody hell. As if I wanted to do that. Thought I'd gauged it right, because the tides are smaller than the other day. Time is, it should be high water now. Shouldn't be coming in much more. Yeah, so we're playing at mullet fishing today, aren't we? But I've baited up, you know, I've baited up, haven't I? I have given it a shot, haven't I? So, you know, baits are coming back on the sandstorm stripped. So there's crabs out there, and there's a guillemot out there. I would say they've finished firing shells because she's now going. I think she's there watching to make sure people don't walk onto the beach. See, she's got an old truck. It's full of rust. 55 plate. It's 1 year newer than mine, and it's got more rust on it than mine. Oh, she ain't going. They're still firing then. I thought she was going. No, they have stopped. She's now going to lower the flags. Yeah. No more big bangs by the water's edge. What title am I gonna that guillemot's back. They don't fly off. You know what it's doing, don't you? It's going under the water, innit? Swimming about. It's flowing off now. It ain't going far. Anyhow, she's now lowering the flags, so got to think of a title for this video, ain't I? Got to have a bit of Shazam in it, because you don't get many chances there where it's not clickbait and it's a genuine title, because I try to do genuine titles. I don't put too many things. I think I have done monster or something, but then I was catching a big cod. But yeah, I've got to think up with a good title for this video. Boom! Might do that. It was a war zone. Sea fishing war zone. Now, boom! Might have put that in it, mightn't I? Put some extra O's in it, just to sort of like emphasise it. Rods ain't doing a lot. It's a shame, really. Like I say, you can come fishing and I might do 4 videos this week. This is the video number 3. Well, 4th video is tomorrow. Thursday's a day off, and Friday we leave the cottage. So Friday I could go fishing again, but if we get away and we're parked up and it don't feel right, I shan't go fishing. But the only chance I've got to go fishing is at Whitehaven, so it'll be off the pier, and it's a long walk round to the long pier, so I'd have to travel light. And secondly, when you return a fish, it's a long walk down the stairs, across the pier to the other steps, so you can drop it in the water. And I don't know if my hip will cope, because I don't know if I've told you, but just lately I've been struggling a little bit more, and I'm thinking we've all got different pain thresholds, haven't we? And I'm just thinking that it's getting to the point where I've got to get something done. But I've got this house come up. When I go back off holiday, I've got this house to do, so I shall get that done, and at the same point I shall go see a doctor and get started on the list. Yep, shooting stopped, flags are down. So these rods aren't doing a lot, are they? This probably won't be a very long video, it'll probably be quite short, but it is what it is. I'm here fishing for you, for myself as well, really. But the knock-on effect of that is it's for you as well, because obviously I upload to YouTube, or Tom does, not me. So yeah, keep watching. I might pull a fish out, but if I don't pull a fish out, I'm having fun. It might not be the sunniest of days, but it's a dry day, and I've been sat on this riverbank fishing in salt water for a bass or a mullet, doing my best. Don't laugh at it, because it's only my 2nd time. I have baited up twice this time, and my bait is staying on the hook this time instead of coming off. Yes, the rod's a little bit high up. I haven't dropped it down since I moved the tripod, and the water might still be coming in, but we will see, Could be high water now, could be going to slack. Hope it is. Yeah, you'd think there'd be a flounder or something, wouldn't you? I was talking to a chap there last year and he pulled out probably about a 60cm bass. And I'd been fishing Bootle Beach that day and they walked past me and they said, oh, we're off to another mark. We'll see you there if you come past. And I knew where they gestured to, so I went down there. But it is what it is, isn't it? You only catch them if they're in front of you. And if they're about. If they aren't about and they aren't in front of you, you ain't going to catch diddly squat of you. I'll see you in a bit. I'm going to keep watching these, have a sandwich, have some water. See you in a bit. I've just seen mullet. I've just seen mullet. Just seen some mullet breaking on the water. Unbelievable. I don't care if I don't catch. I've actually seen some mullet on the top of the water. The white, you know, it was either a mullet or it was a Loch Ness monster that was silver, glinty. I can't believe it. Just down there. We're whispering, we're not getting too excited, and I'm all camoed up so they can't see me. Do you know what I mean? I don't care what happened now. Unbelievable. Let's walk along the riverbank, see if we can see him. There's water's going out now. Why am I whispering? We're not bloody freshwater anglers, are we? That sheep's head down there. Should we chuck some? Let's chuck some bread flake on top. See if they start. God, sound like Graham Pullen, doesn't it? Unbelievable. I don't care what happened now. Gonna have to phone the wife and tell the wife. I just hit some mullet on the top of the water down. Yeah, I'm running excited. I don't care if I don't catch now. No, the camera went on, but I've chucked some bread out on top. Because I'm not chucking any more bread. Mind you, I probably should chuck more bread out. I've only got one loaf. I figure if I just chuck the bread out, this bread for ground bait, you need quite slightly older bread. You need to buy it and then all the bread's gone. I've baited up twice, so that shows to me that you can ground bait up and bring the mullet in. They're in now, darling. Look. I'm right excited. Oh, hey, I can see it. It just come up near the bread. It's all silver. Can't believe it. God, it just took the bread off the water. Right, I need to get some bread on the surface. I'll see you in a bit. I can't believe that. I just saw that. Get this baited up. Got to keep the bread in the bag because it dries out. I'll keep baiting up on the top. The bread isn't on it. How long does the bread last for? I'm going to fish off the surface because then I can watch what I'm doing and see. This is unbelievable. Battery's nearly dead. That sandstorm will want changing, but I can't be asked. Unbelievable this is. I actually saw it come up. I'm going to chuck some more bread in. I've got to get this back. At least I can see the bread now. bread's gone. Jesus, webbed, it's took it, it's took it. It's bloody took my bread, look. Jesus, webbed. I kid you not, I kid you not. I have just missed the bite. I casted over my other line. And as I pulled it, I got it unhooked from the line, but then, I kid you not, the bread come off the hook. And as soon as the bread come off the hook, a bloody mullet went for it. Watch this. I'm over it again. No, I ain't. No, I ain't, but I ain't in the right place. Oh, this is so exciting. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. You might not be able to see the bread. I'm over my line again, aren't I? Shit. I need to bring this back. I ain't fussed about the bloody sandstorm rod now. I know for a fact there'll be no bait on that. I've got no bait. There will be no bread on that now. I hope you got that on camera, that swelling of that fish. As I reeled in my bait to try and get it over this line, the bread come off and the mullet went for it. The mullet went for it. I can't believe it. I actually saw it go for the bread, and the problem was there was no bloody bread on the hook. The bread had come off. They could have gone now, couldn't they? I'm getting them that loud. This is all new to me, but to see mullet in the water swimming around where I'm trying to catch them is absolutely fantastic. Now if I could see them all and there was loads there, it'd probably be even better, wouldn't only might have been 1 or 2 fish, mightn't it? If there was a shoal of them, like I saw last year, there was 100 there. I could be having some right action now. They've probably hoovered all my ground bait up. That's probably what they've done. They've probably hoovered all my ground bait up. Bread's come off. Do you know what? The bread doesn't stay on very long, does it? The bread don't stay on very... Oh, bollocks. Who's ever done that before? Look at that. Shit. No. No, that could be the end of the flipping fishing. All my braids tangled up round the tip. Look. Oh, shit. Bollocks. Well, that's it. That's over. Because the water's going out. I can't see him moving anymore. And I've now got this. Do you know what it did? It bounced up and it went boom, boom, boom and just whipped round my rod. Bollocks. Oh shit. I was enjoying myself then. Shit! I have to flip and cut this and tie it. Bollocks! Get out! Oh, I think I've missed the boat now. Right, I can't afford for this to snap up again. This is my last rig of this. I know I need to tie some more. Missed the boat, Anna. Missed the boat. I went from ledgering to surface fishing. But that shows that the ground baiting worked, didn't it? because it brought the mullet in, and I never saw the mullet. I can still see the bread on the hook. Oh, that was so exciting. That was so bloody exciting. It was unbelievable. This on the top must put in some scent into the water. The bait is still on the hook. I can see the, because I've got a popper up, and I can see the popper behind the bread flake. Into a travesty when it all goes wrong and it got all tangled. I just cut it off and retied it on. The bread's still on the hook. I think I've missed the moment. I think it's been and gone. This is how I'm going to fish for it in future. Ground bait, get some bread loaves, make them go old, just leave them out into the air so they go brittle. Oh, that was so exciting. Right, let's get this reeled in. might try that once more. Well, that bit of bread is still on that bobbin, so while it's there I'm leaving it there, but I think the fish have been and gone. Unbelievable. That's so exciting. That was more exciting. Oh, I've got to talk about it. I can't even be asked to take that weed off. Let's get this over here. Cast that. Gone, in it. Never mind. What an experience that was. For my first ever mullet fishing, I can't believe it. Nice and steady, still got bread on it, look. We ought to have some shot on that really, and it might just go a bit further and not. Brilliant. Right, well I can see that on there. Check this out. You only got to bring it in slowly and it comes off. That's where all my bread's got to over there. Cheeky buggers, them seagulls, aren't they? Oh no! Yeah, I probably missed it now. I can't believe, I'm so excited. I saw the first ruffling of a mullet down here because they're just under the water and it's like the water rises up when they come up. Go on, bugger off, seagulls, you're taking my bait. And I got right excited and I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, I've seen a mullet. On my second session, I've seen a mullet. And that's from coming here and couldn't see any. So I didn't go to exactly where they are and they're swimming around, which that would be really good. But then I changed from the bottom to fishing off the surface. And the mullet were there again, and I chucked loads of bread out there because it looks like my ground bait is gone now. And as I was reeling this in, because I thought, Christ, get another bait on it, as I reeled it in, the bread stayed where it was and the hook pulled through it. And then this mullet came up to the piece of bread that was on my hook. You could see it, it was silver. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It's so exciting. And then by the time I got another bit of bread on, chucked it out, and then I had the tangle. Well, I haven't seen him again. So my baiting up worked, my ground baiting worked. But I think it's all gone now, and I think they've gone. Probably because I'm talking like this, innit? People will be there saying you should have a camo top on and camo bloody boots, camo pants and socks, camo on my face. Keep it down. Don't shout. That's what it's about, isn't it? It's about getting excited, isn't it? Right, my bread is still up. The trouble is now, my hip is now hurt. Oh, it's been a hell of a day, hasn't it? We've had the bombs going out to sea for miles, I would say, and huge explosions and the gun going bang. I'm still on my bread. I can just see my bobber and the bread in front of it. Mullet? I can't believe it. Second trip out and I've seen mullet and I nearly had a take. I didn't think the bread would come off the hook. I was winding it. Sugar. I can't see any more across the surface of the water. I remember standing on that bank there, and the mullet were on top of this, what this weed is, whatever it is, and there was loads. I shall be back again. I shall be back again, maybe not this week, but if I do come back this week, I'm just fishing mullet. I'm not fishing anything else. So it'll probably be a blank, but it'll be an exciting blank, because this has been fantastic. Oh well, I think I can't see any now, which is a shame. We'll keep at it, but it all depends on how long my hit was. All depends on how long my hit lasts. Ain't got much loaf left either. onto the hook for very long. Why does the bread come off the hook so quick? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I used to do as a child. Everybody does it different and I'm learning. So I'm doing this for now. Just to try it. Seriously think it's done now. It is what it is. It's been so exciting for that little tiny bit that I had. It's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I think that's it, because the mullet, as soon as they were here, they're gone, and the seagulls, they're getting all excited because my bread's now over there. So at least I'm feeding the seagulls. That's a good thing, bless them. Now I've crunched that bit of bread on that hook right up into like a boilie I've made, so it sinks. I know that ain't what people do, but when I was young I used to fish for river fish like that. They used to take it. Ain't much different to mullet, are they? But there's nothing there, and my ground bait is gone. I think there must have been a few mullet in there cleaning up the ground, but seagulls are getting my bread. Look at that. Look at them all. See them? Need to be careful with this line now. So what? That was good. So, oh, that'll be the wind on that, won't it? Can you see that rod? I just saw it out of the corner of my eye and thought, oh. So it's been good. It's been good. That's made this session worthwhile for me. I've really enjoyed that. That was exciting. Saw mullet 2 or 3 times there, and it even went for the bread. It's just my hook come off. I just moved the rod and I saw the popper moving away from the bread and the bread not moving, and the mullet went up for the piece of bread. I can't believe it. Lovely silver, hit big fish, not a tiny one, but I was nowhere near hooking it because I wasn't in contact with the bread. So why does the bread come off so quick and easy? Is it just one of them things that the bread don't stay on the hook for very long and you're constantly reeling in and refreshing? Because if that's the case, then I can't fish for a mullet rod and another rod with bait on it, because there's just too much. So I'm going to reel this mullet rod in again in a minute to see if what I've just done by making a boilie up with bread, whether it's worked. It's all learning curve. I'm just trying this out to see it. And you obviously can't cast very far with bread either. You've just got to drop it down, haven't you? Because the bread will come off, I think. Let us know in the comments if you know. Drill this in, see what happens. Well, that answers that question. If you dough the bread up into a ball and get it on the hook, it just comes off as well. I need to understand how long a bread flake will stay on a hook, because it's not very long. It's a matter of seconds, like maybe a minute tops, or a minute and a half if it's floating on the top. But then you'll see the popper will disappear and the bread flakes just sat there on the surface, and you know it's come off. Is that what you do? And then the other problem is when it's ledgering on the bottom, how do you know the bread flakes come off again? Do you have to keep doing it every minute, 2 minutes? Ground baiting, I guess if you can't see the mullet, then obviously you need more ground bait. But I did attract the mullet in with the ground bait, and I used 4.5 loaves, nearly 5 loaves of bread. So through a tide, I've seen people digging it into the soil and just firming the mud around it. Perhaps that'll last longer. That's a tip I could do next time. But yeah, how long does the bait stay on when you're ledgering? You might think this is obvious, but to me it's not obvious. It's the second time I've ever mullet fished. So, and this bloody fine line and that is a pain in the ass and all, because with my eyes you just can't function. All these mullet rigs I tied as well, I've enjoyed it so much. Do you know what? I don't care that I've blanked. I've seen mullet in the river, and little tiny crab. I kid you not, there's a crab down there the size of a halfpenny. Size of a halfpenny. There'll be crabs all in this, won't there? And I've been stomping on them, bless them. Oh no, I've really enjoyed today. I've seen mullet in the water swimming where I've ground baited, and that's fantastic. It's been so exciting. It's been unbelievable. I don't know if I've actually mentioned the fact that it's been exciting, but it's been exciting. But yeah, down here there's been mullet, but I can't see any break in the surface now, and they were earlier. So Christ, that was a narrow margin of a window of opportunity, and I never had any opportunity apart from that one fish that went up for that bread flake attached to my hook, and I moved the line and it just pulled the hook out of that bread. Now the mullet might have gone up and gone like that, and the bread would have gone everywhere, and the hook would have fell away, and I wouldn't have got a bite anyhow. So I'm not even anticipating the fact that I would have hooked that, because it wouldn't have happened. But to have mullet bait up an area and mullet move in to my hard work, and then a mullet swims to my hook. I hope I got that on camera. I was talking to the wife as well, and she says gear on, so I was there talking to the wife, and I should have been fishing. I was just too excited. It was like Christmas. So yeah, it's looking like a blank. I've still got my sandstorm out. I was going to have another cast, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to pack this rod away now, my Auger Raider 9 foot, and then we'll pull in the sandstorm, and then I'll go home, because wife's been sat in the van. And tomorrow we're at the beach, where we won't catch any mullet, but hopefully I won't get a blank there. Now, if I went up to the heads, St Bees Head, Fleswick Bay, or Salton Bay, might try Salton Bay, but I think Whitehaven Pair is going to be hard work on returning the fish. You know, I've got to start thinking about where I can fish, and it isn't as easy or as productive as some of those marks are. You got a rocky mark and it's all food and all sorts of stuff. There's going to be fish there. There's going to be an eel there in the bullass, dogfish. I had one of them this year. You know, many different things that you could catch in better areas, but I'm going to these harder areas, and I just wish I'd turned up there and the sun was out, because I think those mullet would have come in here on this bank looking around, because there's tiny little crabs in there. I couldn't believe I had to look at that and look twice, because I thought that's a big spider, and then I thought that ain't a spider, it's too fat, that's a tick, and then I thought, oh my god, ticks, and then I realised it was a crab. So anyhow, all that by and by, what an exciting day it's been today. We've had big bangs, we've had incoming fire, you've heard it yourself. I've had to nearly put my hat on to protect myself. Had to send a drone up just to make sure I was safe, do you know what I mean? We're full through me training. That's been fantastic hearing them shooting them guns off out to sea. And then the exciting with that, you know, what exciting. I mean, some people say, oh, shut up, Vern, you great big pussy, you know, but that's exciting for me. That's my first, this is my second ever mullet trip, and I've actually seen some, and it went for my bread flake after me hook got detached. I'll bring you back in a bit when I reel this last rod in. See you in a bit. Right, let's get this reeled in. You'll not see me for 2 minutes, but then you will see me. And I've had a brainwave of an idea for my next mullet fishing trip. Has that actually got me on that? Yeah. Weird that. Looks like it's too far up. Well, that was out 10 minutes and there was no bait on the hook. There's bloody mullet down there. I kid you not. One just stirred and they're up there on that surface. They're only just up here. It must have saw me, so they do see you. This is where I wanted to fish earlier here, and I didn't because I wasn't allowed to because of the firing. And they had a look at these mullet here. Can you see them? Look here, mullet. Well, how about that? I've scared them away. So you have to be quiet. It's going to be hard for doing a video, isn't it? There. There. Mullet just surfaced. Hardest fish to catch apparently. Now I could see them swimming up here, breaking the surface of the water, and as I walked down there, probably about here, I startled a fish, and it didn't jump out of the water, but there was a huge explosion of water where I frightened it. And we got a heron down there, look. See that heron? If you can see that there, Tom, under my finger there. Right, I have a plan. There's another mullet down there, look. I have a plan. And I'm not going to say it now in case I don't fish it again. But yeah, this has been Verns fishing, mullet fishing for his second attempt, and it's been really successful in my opinion. I've really enjoyed myself. I don't care a toss that I blanked, really don't. Yeah, down there. You just need to be quiet. All the things I used to say. Ah, you won't ever catch me wearing camouflage gear though. No. Why are they up here? They're all around there. If I just had some ground bait. I ain't walking all my gear. Now this is where I wanted to come earlier, but they were shooting. Now I've just got to hope that they aren't shooting another day. I've got the weekend, might not do it on a weekend. I might be able to successfully, I could catch them down here, couldn't I? I mean, at the end of the day, you can only fish where you can fish. And if they've got the red flags out and they say you're not going down there, you're not going down there, simple as that. But it's fantastic to see mullet, and I can see them swirling around down there now. Absolutely fantastic. Been a bit of a bombshell day, hasn't it? Excuse the pun. But yeah, So I did want to fish down that end, but I've learnt more today for doing it, but I still don't understand about the bread. I'm gonna have to try and watch some YouTube, or I'll phone Mike up, ask Mike if he knows anything about fishing with bread. He'll know. I'll phone him up tonight, get some more info, and then I've got a cunning plan for my ground bait. So I shall do that. Hopefully it'll all work out right, and everything will be fine. So it's been absolutely fantastic, hasn't it? Are we recording? Yeah. It's been absolutely fantastic. I'm so chuffed I've seen them down there. I know they're here. Now, this is going to be a new mark for me every time I come here and fish here. Absolutely fantastic. And it's so peaceful, it's so nice. It's been overcast like this for all day really. It was windier earlier, the wind has dropped. It's not supposed to be too bad tomorrow. Next video you see me, I will be fishing Walney Beach. I've found a place, and the other day, yesterday, it was secluded. There was no one there. Now, you know, sod's law, I'm going to turn up tomorrow and there's going to be 20 families there, isn't there? With buckets and spades on the bloody cobbles. But if that's the case, that's the case. I'll have to try and find somewhere else. But I will be back here. I might be back here this week. But if I do, I'm not fishing a big rod. I'm just fishing a mullet rig. And I'll ledger and use the top flake as well with my new ground baiting technique. I can't wait to fish down there. I can't wait. This is the time. I'm tired and I've now packed everything away. And the wife's in the van. Time is now 5:10. We're supposed to be in the pub. Anyhow, it's been fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been different. It's been me getting excited. And I've had a whale of a time. It's been absolutely fantastic, even though I've blanked. But I've already said that. So next time you see me, we'll be on Walney Beach. On Walney Island, and it's into the Irish Sea, so that's where I'll be fishing. Tune in next Wednesday and see that video. I hope you enjoy it. I haven't filmed it yet, so I'm hoping that I enjoy it so that you'll enjoy it. But yeah, hopefully the wife will be on the beach with me. It's going to be a nice day, and might come back to here again. I might not go to Whitehaven. Been that exciting air blanking, I might do it again. I'll see you anon. Make me wet, and in the sort of wet you want to be.